Newbies. I see them make mistakes over and over again as they're planning their trip to Disneyland and they don't get enough out of it. So in today's episode, I'm going to give you 7 things that I see newbies do wrong all the time, and I'm going to try to correct that for you. So if you're new to Disneyland, planning one of your first trips, please stick around as I go over some things that I think will make that trip extra special. And if you have been to Disneyland many times, please stick around. Let us know in the comments some other strategies so we can make their trips extra special. I'm that one Disney dude. Thanks for tuning in today. Welcome back, guys. I am that one Disney dude, and today I'm here to talk about newbies at Disneyland. People that are planning their very first trip, people that haven't been in a long time, or maybe someone who's planning like their second or third trip to Disneyland and still doesn't quite know how to make that trip as special as possible. So I've been to Disneyland hundreds of times, and I think that I can share some expertise to make your trip extra special if you are indeed a newbie to Disneyland. In this video, I'm going to share 7 things that I think I've seen newbies get wrong, and I'm going to try my best to help you correct those things so that you're not wasting your money when you go to the happiest place on earth. Number 1, I see that newbies make a big mistake of not rope dropping. If you're not sure what I mean by rope dropping basically just means you're getting there when the park opens. Usually the park opens at 8 a.m. and if you arrive at 8 a.m., they actually have cast members that are standing in certain areas that are holding a rope, and at about 7:59 they do a countdown, and at 8 a.m. exactly they lower that rope and people take off to the destination that they want. Most people run to the big rides like Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Indiana Jones, the rides that are going to have a longer wait later on in the day. So if you can be there at 8 a.m., you're gonna get so much done. In my opinion, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. is truly the peak hours of being at Disneyland. You can get so much done from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. because that's when people are asleep. They're sleeping in. They're coming over later in the afternoon. And I know if you're on your vacation, you're so tempted to not set that alarm clock. You're so tempted to get to the park later in the day. But I'm here to tell you, you're really missing out. If you can be there at 8 a.m., you're going to get so much done. I have been able to do things like Indiana Jones, Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, all the big rides, all within those first 3 hours if I arrive at rope drop. I've had friends that have told me they've gone to Disneyland from 8 a.m. to midnight when it closes, and they hardly got on any rides, but then when they came with me from 8 a.m. to 11, they went on a ton of rides because I showed them how to properly do it. So if you are a newbie, set the alarm clock, get there at rope drop at 8 a.m. typically when it opens, and you will get as much done as possible. You'll maximize your day if you can come in a little bit early. So rope drop. Number 2, another big thing is newbies, they don't spend the money sometimes to get the lightning lane. Now, I know Disney's expensive. Trust me, I have a hobby that's expensive. My happy place is why I don't have any money. But I keep giving my money back to them again and again because they simply bring me joy and happiness. So here's my thought to you. If you're thinking, I'm not going to spend the extra money to get the lightning lane, you're already spending a couple $100 on your ticket. You're already spending money on your hotel room. Why not kick in the extra $30 to get the lightning lane? It's going to get you so much more done. It's going to let you go on all the big rides without that wait. If it's your one day at Disneyland, or you haven't been in a while, or you are new to Disney, you don't want to spend your day in 60-minute, 90-minute waits. So buy the lightning lane, learn how to use it properly on the Disney app, and get on those big rides with a much smaller wait time. It's going to make your day be a lot better. You're going to feel like you maximize your day. You're going to feel like you got your money's worth. And if you have children especially, you're not going to have to be waiting in line with them nearly as long. I mean, there's still a wait time with the Lightning Lane. It's not just like an automatic walk-on by any means, but you will save hours of waiting in line, and you will get more done in the day to make that trip extra special. So get the Lightning Lane. I know it's more money, but do it, especially if you're not going to go again for a while. Number 3, I've noticed that a lot of people that go for the first time, they go into Disneyland without a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to go in knowing what are the big rides like we must go on. We must hit this ride or our trip won't be extra special. Have a list of things in your head that everybody really wants to do. So when you walk into Disneyland, you have a game plan. Look at what restaurants you want to go to. Look at what foods you might want to eat. Kind of plan those ahead of time. That way you know exactly what you want to do before you even get into those gates. What are your must-dos? I also want to add to the planning part and doing research. Now, research just simply means to me watching YouTube videos. There's plenty of people out there like me that are making these videos that can make your life a lot easier. Now, I'm hoping in the future that I can be added to this list, and people out there, all around the country are going to be like, hey, check out that one Disney Dude's channel. He knows a lot about Disney. That's my dream. I hope that happens one day. But in the meantime, there are some channels that I love to watch that have really helped me to plan my Disney trips. One, I like to watch Fresh Baked. He does a phenomenal job of showing you what's going on at Disneyland, how to avoid wait times, how to get on rides quicker, the best time of the day and best time of the year to go. Check him out. Paging Mr. Morrow. He's usually at Disney World, but every now and then he makes his way out to Disneyland, does the same thing, kind of talks about what foods to get, what rides to hit up, does a really good job of planning videos to make your trip easier. There's people out there like Adam the Woo, does a fantastic job. He's always at Disneyland, Disney World, even Universal. And he'll give you some strategies as well to make sure your trip is going to be as smooth as possible. There's Mammoth Club. There is Super Enthused. There are a ton of trips out there. Ton of YouTubers out there that'll help you plan your trip a lot better. Do your research. On a Saturday morning when you're sipping that coffee and you know you have a trip coming up, watch those videos. One day, I'm hoping that my name could be added to that conversation. But, in the meantime, I'm happy to share people that have helped me make my trips better. So look them up on YouTube. Trust me, it'll be worth it. They won't let you down, and they'll make sure that your trip is as great as it possibly can be. So research. Go in with a plan. Number 4, mobile order. Almost every single restaurant in Disneyland, most quick service restaurants that is, nowadays have mobile order. If you go to a quick service restaurant, you're going to see this ginormous line where people are waiting, 30, 40 minutes, sometimes up to an hour. And if you are smart and you download the Disneyland app, you can hop on there. You can order your food right from your phone, and then it gives you a window of time that you can come back to get your food. And sometimes that window is like right now. So you'll see people that are waiting in this giant line, wasting valuable time in their day, and you basically get to go up there and cut the line. I always kind of feel like a jerk when I do this, but it's there. Disney has created it. It makes life a lot easier for you. So if I were you, I would go ahead, download that Disneyland app, and make sure that you are mobile ordering your food. It's going to save you so much time. I think it's valuable time you can use on rides, go shopping, hang out with your family, and not you spend it in line to get food. Okay. Number 5, people don't pack their suitcases correctly. Now, there are many times people they got their shoes, they got their clothes, they got everything they might need, but there are some really essential things, in my opinion, that people forget to pack that I think will make your day at Disneyland a heck of a lot better. So number 1, make sure you are packing some comfortable shoes. I've seen people out there rocking some shoes that I know are not comfortable, and you're putting in a lot of steps. Make sure you are choosing shoes that are comfortable, already broken in. Make sure that you don't go in there with high heels. Don't go in there with your brand new Jordans that you don't want to get creased, that aren't very comfortable. Go in there with something that is going to allow you to walk around for a long time. 2, I like to use this stuff called Body Glide. It's for chafing. If you are walking around putting in those 16,000 to 20,000 steps, sometimes you're going to get rashes in spots that you don't want to get rashes. So I highly recommend buying that on Amazon. It's like $5. It is amazing. It works really well, and you're going to walk around pain-free for the entire day. So check that stuff out. Throw it in your suitcase. Throw it in your backpack on your way to Disneyland. Trust me, you won't regret it. Also, bring all your medications. Make sure in your suitcase, in your backpack, you got your ibuprofen, you got your Tylenol, you got any sort of meds you might need. You don't want to walk back to the hotel to go get it. You don't want to go buy that stuff at Disneyland because they're going to jack up that price big time. Make sure that you are bringing those things in with you so you have them at all times, because sometimes you're going to need that ibuprofen and that Tylenol. Walking around all that time, you're going to get headaches, you're going to have muscle aches, things are going to happen. You're going to wish that you had it if you don't have it with you. And finally, make sure you pack Band-Aids. I don't know how many times I've needed them, whether I get cut on something, whether my shoes aren't comfortable and I get a blister from walking around the whole time. I can cover that thing up, make sure that I'm not hurting all day long. So pack those things, pack correctly. There are so many things people forget to pack. And maybe I'll do a video for you before I go to my next trip and actually show you every single thing that I pack. But pack properly. Newbies get that wrong all the time. Pack properly. Number 6, take breaks. And I'm not the kind of person that likes to go back to the hotel and hop in the pool. I always hear people on YouTube say to go do that, like a 2 o'clock break, go to the hotel and go to the pool. If I'm spending all that money, I want to stay there. I don't want to leave. That's just my personal opinion. But there are ways to take breaks without leaving the park. You can go see a show. Go check out the Tiki Room. It's a 20-minute show in the air conditioning. You can buy a Dole Whip and just kind of hang out inside this really cool show. Get your feet off, you're not walking on them for a while. Take a nice little break that's relaxing so that you can keep going on throughout the day. Go down Main Street, go stop at the Starbucks, go sit down, people watch. That's always one of my favorite things to do. Check out a parade so you can sit on the curb for a while, rest those feet. You can go see the Mr. Lincoln show, which now, by the way, has a Walt Disney segment to it, which I can't wait to go check out when I go in November. But there are ways for you to take a break, get in the air conditioning, take a load off your feet. Stop walking around for a while. Enjoy a snack. Enjoy a coffee. Enjoy a nice restaurant. Just sit for a while. Relax. You're putting in all those steps. Trust me, you're going to want to take a little bit of a break. Plus, if you take those breaks, it allows you to stay until park closing. And just like I said earlier, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. is like peak Disney time to go on rides. From the time fireworks end until closing is also peak Disney time if you want to go on rides. So the fireworks usually hit around 9:30, and if you stay from like 10 p.m. to midnight, you're going to feel like you kind of have the park to yourself again. So I highly recommend that you stay till closing, but it's really, really hard to stay till closing if you don't take those breaks. So relax a little bit. Plus, if you don't take those breaks, you're going to get grumpy. It's not called the grumpiest place on earth. It's the happiest place on earth. Come on now. So take those breaks. Make sure you can make it throughout the day and have your whole family still having a really good time. And the final thing that I see newbies get wrong all the time is they go in with unrealistic expectations. And what I mean by that is they think they're going to go in and they're going to hit every ride, meet every character, eat every snack, all in one day. Disneyland, although not nearly as big as Disney World, is really hard, if not impossible, to do all in one day. So go in with realistic expectations. Like I said earlier, go with a plan. have these rides that you're like, I gotta get these done. I gotta eat these snacks. I gotta eat at this restaurant. Have your list that's realistic. And then anything extra, that's icing on the cake. Things that you weren't expecting get done that you get done. Cool, that's awesome. You just made your day extra special. But go in with realistic expectations, knowing that not everything can get done in one day. And even times that you're in line for a ride, rides break down. It happens. Kind of go in. It doesn't happen, all the time, but it can. So also go in realizing that, like, hey, sometimes, even if I make time for a ride, like, it might just not be in the cards for that day. Have a plan B ready. A ride might break down. But if you go in with realistic expectations, you're gonna have a good day still, no matter what. So those are my 7 things that I've noticed that newbies kind of get wrong on a daily basis. And from someone who's been as often as I have, I hope that this video was informative and helpful. So if you are planning a trip here very soon and you are a newbie or someone that hasn't been very often, I really hope this video was helpful. If you are someone that's been as often as I have and I forgot something, drop it in the comments. We're a community here, in my opinion. Help us out, help us all out. If I forgot something, help those newbies out so they know what they can do to make that trip extra special when they go. Anyways, I am that one Disney dude, and I really, really appreciate you coming on this ride with me. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share these videos if they're helpful to you, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.